American Ninja Warrior. Great show. Welcome to another episode of Midlife Playbook. As always, I'm Matt, sitting here with my boy Naeem.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Little known fact about Naeem, he was on American Ninja Warrior. Not only was he on it, he made it to the television cut.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. You want to get into it, or
Let's get into it. How did you get into that?
we're going to get into it, but first, let me go ahead and do this real quick. I think you started a
I
little
may
bit
have started a
before me.
little early today. I'm
Before
sorry.
me, but you know.
Yeah, it's okay. It's the same thing.
Yeah. All right. So now that we got that out of the way. Yeah, so like you said, made it to American Ninja Warrior. I was on season, I think it was 9, 10, and 11, 2017, 18, and 19.
Also, 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Nice. Make it to TV every time?
I made it to TV 2 out of those 3 seasons.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was a great experience. But, you know, what I think is a great story, and we'll get into the Ninja Warrior, but is the story leading up to Ninja Warrior.
Okay. I want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say the one thing people always ask me is like, how did you even get into that? Right.
Yeah. How did you get into that?
So I would always be the guy sitting on the couch, and I watched Ninja Warrior since season 1 when it was really easy stuff like jumping over logs, climbing up a cargo net, really easy things. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can do that. I can do that. I can do it. Season after season, I would say that. And then one day I'm in the gym and it's late 2016. So I'm 36 years old. I'm in the gym and I'm talking to one of my gym goers there. And she's like, well, you know, American Ninja Warrior's coming to, I think it was Cleveland. I said, really? She said, you should try out. Like, well, how do you try out? She said, go on the website, you apply, I'll do the same thing, and we'll see if we can get on. Like, whatever. Yeah. So I'll try. I go home. I pull up the application. Took me like 2-3 days to fill out. It's very extensive. And
did you have to do a video application?
I did have to do a video submission. Okay. So, you know, I had me climbing up ropes with one rope in each hand, going up, kind of just, you know, traversing it that way. I did, you know, power cleans, a lot of CrossFit moves is what I did. Some sprinting, some climbing up rock walls, climbing up pegboards. And you really got to showcase your personality, because if you really pay attention to the show, they don't put just great athletes on the show. Right. A lot of times the people aren't very athletic at all.
Well, they're entertaining.
Right. You nailed it.
Right.
So that's where they're going with this. So you've got to showcase that athleticism, or, you know, your ability to entertain an audience if you make the television cut.
Right.
Speaking of making the television cut, what a lot of people don't realize is that there are thousands upon thousands of people who try out for this show.
Yeah.
The night that we record, the first night, second night, there's 110 people usually that run that course.
So how do you go from just in the mix to actually making the TV cut?
So they let all 110 run, right?
Okay.
And if you've ever noticed on Ninja Warrior, it's always filmed under darkness.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
Start filming at about 8 p.m.
Okay.
And do not cut until the sun rises.
Was it outside?
It's outside.
Oh, see, I always thought it was in a building.
No, sir. Well, now I kind of lost a little bit of touch with the show, but I think the last couple of seasons they have started doing it in an indoor arena.
But when you did it, you were outside.
Outside.
Okay.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, that's
beginning of April.
Oh.
Falling into water that is not heated, my friend.
Oh, no.
Not heated at all.
That's not pool water, is it?
No.
That's a cold plunge.
That's a cold plunge. So it was, honestly, it was great. I think it was 38 degrees out.
Oh my goodness.
And, you know, we're running in shorts and t-shirts.
Right.
And you got to stay warm because you're traversing all types of obstacles.
Because you're really getting after it.
Yeah, you have to.
You're going.
If you want to, number one, make the television cut. So you've got to think, I've got to traverse all these obstacles.
Right.
I've also got to be entertaining while I do it.
Right.
Give them a good product to put on TV. And, you know, it takes a big toll on you. And then when you fall into that water, which, you know, a lot of people do, then, you know, you just you get out, you dry off, and there's a year of training down the tubes. But hopefully you did well enough to make it to the next round.
Okay, so those 110 people, so they're all recorded as they're going.
Every single one of them is recorded, yes.
So then they go back, the producers or whoever go back at later and watch each one, and they're kind of deciding who they're going to put on TV, or is it based on, did you finish the course and how quickly did you finish the course, and were you entertaining?
All of the above.
All of the above.
So here's the way they're going to break down the cut. They're going to say, okay, these top 30 people are going to make it to the next round, the city finals. Those are the people that went furthest on the course, the fastest on the course.
Okay.
Out of those 30 people, who was entertaining enough to put on TV?
Okay.
Some people are going to get their whole entire run aired. Some people are going to get a snippet of them just falling in the water.
Right.
Some people are going to get a snippet of them tripping on something, which disqualifies them. But out of the 25 to 30 people that make TV, only about 5 are going to have their entire run shown.
Okay.
So for me, when I was running in the city qualifier, which is the very first round where all 110 run, I did make TV.
Yeah.
I threw a big party for it in my neighborhood, rented out the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Everything had all these people.
I'm assuming that's the episode I've seen. I don't remember which one it was.
It may have been, but here's the funny thing about it. There's another guy here in town who was also on the show. So I invited him to the watch party and everything.
Okay.
He comes over. There's about 40 people in this place.
Right.
And he's in there. His whole entire run gets shown.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, this is awesome. They're showcasing us. Here we go. And then they show me hanging from an obstacle and falling in the water. And I was like, are you kidding me? I threw this huge party
and 5 seconds.
And I got 5 seconds.
So that's not the one I saw is longer than that.
So the one you saw was the second night of recording, which aired, I believe, 6 weeks after this episode did.
Okay.
So I threw another party. And they don't tell you if you're going to make TV or not. It's all.
So you don't know. You got to watch.
No idea. You got to watch just like everybody else.
Man.
So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to throw another party. We're going to see what happens. And so we're all there. We're all hanging out. And we actually threw it at a local bar.
Okay.
So they let us rent out the whole downstairs.
Nice.
And everyone's in there. Everyone from the neighborhood, cheering and everything. And all of a sudden, I'm just chopping it up with people over here. And someone's like, oh my God, you're on TV. They aired my whole entire
that's the one I saw.
run.
It was great.
My goodness. The thing that they didn't show, they cut out that very first rope you swing on.
Yeah.
I got hung up on that for 29 seconds.
Oh.
But then I went ahead and completed the course, went up the warped wall, did the salmon ladder, and got cut down on an obstacle called the nail clipper.
Right.
Everyone in the whole entire round went down on the nail clipper except 2 people.
Okay.
Joe Moravsky and Jamie Ron, I believe it was. And, the crazy thing about it is the next round was when you go to Las Vegas.
Right.
I believe it's the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And those are the national finals. They take the top 15 people.
Okay.
I came in at number 17.
Oh.
And guess what the time difference was between
I don't even want to
17
know.
and 15?
A second.
9 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
So an obstacle that should have taken me 3 seconds took me 29.
So you'd have killed it.
I'd have killed it.
You'd have been way ahead of everybody.
I probably would have been number 9 or 10.
Oh man.
And would have been in Vegas and the whole thing, man. But listen, it's all a learning lesson. But that was a great experience. I mean, getting to see the behind the scenes, how that show is made.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, maybe.
It's great. Well, I mentioned the fact that it's all filmed under darkness.
Yeah.
So I had the kids there, and when you have kids there, they let you run earlier. So I ran at about 9:30.
Was it just one run for the whole night?
Just one run.
And then you're done until tomorrow or whatever?
Yeah. You train for an entire year.
Man.
And if you slip and fall, that's a year's worth of training. You better come back next year better.
Oh.
So, it's a true one and done. And a lot of people don't.
Right.
A lot of people are like, well, do they let you see the course? Do they let you practice on the course? The answer to all that is no.
You have no idea what you're getting.
Well, as they're building it in each city, you show up to the city the day before. So you get to see what they're building and you have an idea. And usually there's a local ninja gym that, they get building right away because it takes about a week to build the course. So they start seeing the obstacles. So they start building in their own gym so that when all the athletes come to town, they can go to their gym and practice.
So you get a couple days at most.
You get a couple days, but you never get to touch the actual course.
Right.
So you get to run on some makeshift,
oh.
some backyard.
Fascinating.
Obstacles. Yeah, man. It's why, and you don't think all of this goes into that show.
Like I said, I thought it was in a studio.
No.
You can't tell you're outside.
Yeah, totally outdoors.
I mean, it's dark and everybody in the background's kind of dark. I was like, well, they're just in a dome somewhere.
Yeah.
Like the RCA dome in Indianapolis or whatever it is, right? Like a football stadium, they convert into this so they can get you in there and it's all black.
Yeah.
That's crazy that it's outside at night in April in Cleveland.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, not at all. And they've had seasons before that were in the middle of winter, early spring, and like Philly.
Ooh.
The second year I ran the course, it was in Indianapolis. It was cold again, in April. And, because they usually try to put you somewhere close to where you live.
Right.
We're here in Cincinnati. So they sent me to Cleveland, then they sent me to Indianapolis. And then the third year I ran the course, it was actually in Cincinnati.
Okay.
So I just went downtown, grabbed a hotel.
Just put it right downtown.
Oh, yeah. Put it right downtown. Yeah.
How big is that set really? And are you able to like put a dimension on it?
About a city block.
Is it that big?
Yeah, the whole entire course from start to finish is maybe a slightly larger than a city block, maybe a block and a half.
So they put it in the street?
Right in the street.
Close the streets down?
Yep, right
around
in the street.
it?
Well, you know where the Freedom Center is downtown?
Yeah.
It was on that street right there.
Okay.
I forget that is that 2nd Street. I'm not sure what it
I
is.
thought it's Freedom Way. Is it that Freedom Way down there?
It might.
I don't know.
Might
but
be.
I know where you're at.
Yeah, but we're talking a city block and a half or so. And it's really impressive because the whole city comes out to cheer on. Everybody's trying to get tickets to it. But what you don't realize is that the producers are really in control of this show.
Yeah.
They tell you straight up, if you want to get on TV, you better do something entertaining. You better do something showboating.
Yeah.
And, lucky for me, my first run, the whole thing was on TV.
Yeah.
So all of the little antics you see me doing, like turning around and bowing in respect to one of the obstacles after I completed it.
It's all on purpose.
Yeah. Kissing a log because it was the worst obstacle ever known to man. And once I completed it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to give you a little love, move on from you, and then throw my fists in the air and fist pumping. And
oh yeah,
that.
I saw it. It was great.
Oh, yeah. All that's just for TV. Now, if it were up to me, I would have just ran the course, caught my breath, but I'm focused. Right. 2 years worth of stuff, man. I'm 37, 38, 39 at the time. And I'm up against these 18, 19, 20 year olds.
So that's interesting. I've always wanted to know how much of can average dudes go and do this? Do you need to be a super athlete or is it kind of somewhere in the middle?
So I've always said the awesome thing about the sport of ninja is that you do not have to be a super athlete.
Right.
A lot of times when you go to these local ninja gyms, you'll see a lot of the kids in there are the kids that don't excel at baseball, football, soccer, but they've got amazing body control.
Okay.
And they're able to lunge themselves from obstacle to obstacle, and they can traverse things on the ground, and they can hold their body weight.
So balance is a thing.
Balance is a huge thing. Yeah. And like I said, being able to hold your body weight is huge because what they've done with the whole entire sport pretty much is make it so that you're just hanging from stuff the whole time. It's a forearm game.
Yeah. I just, me, I don't know that I'd be able, were there any super big dudes there? When I mean super big, heavy?
No, I mean, probably the heaviest guy I ever seen run the course, or a guy I saw run the course was probably about 210.
Okay.
But he was very tall.
Yeah.
Very lanky. You're not, your inside linebackers aren't
right.
pretty much doing
No, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Because watching it, man, it makes me tired watching it.
Oh, me too. Now, I mean, at 40, I'll be 45 next month. Heck,
right.
Yeah. And the kids are always like, Dad, just do it one more time. Do it one more time. Go, go, go.
I'm pretty sure I've told you to do it one more time. Too. You're in phenomenal shape right now.
But I'm old, man.
Is that a thing though? Or is it like if you were in top-notch cardio, you're physically strong enough? Is it a cardio thing more than strength? Or you know what I mean?
It's a combination of both.
Okay.
It really is. You got to have the endurance.
Right.
You've really one thing my wrestling coach taught us in high school is said, don't let your mind give out before your muscles do.
Okay.
Because your muscles will go so much further than what your mind thinks they can.
Wow.
So if you just push yourself, that's also kind of like that David Goggins mentality.
Right.
Of, once you think you're done, you've only given 40%. You still got another 60% left in the tank. You just need to find a way to mentally tap into it. And, I've been out of that specific training for so long. If I gave it a good year, I could probably go out there and give it a good run. But man, now they're letting these 15, 16, 17-year-olds and.
Yeah, but the advantage I think you would have is I'm sure that there's certain techniques involved that make it easier maybe.
There are.
Than just kind of like arm wrestling through everything and brute force.
Yes. And that was a big mistake I made when I first started. And I would train at a gym in Columbus. And a very famous female ninja, I don't know if she wants me to say her name, so I won't.
Oh, we won't. That's fine.
A very famous female ninja runs a gym in Columbus, Ohio. And one of her trainers, this guy, I wish I could say his name because he was such a great guy. He said, man, you're just muscling through everything. He said, there's a technique to it all. And the very first technique I learned was how to run the warped wall. Everyone always asks, was that difficult? Is it hard to get up that wall?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's not easy. I mean, it's a 10-foot wall. Now they have the it's a 14-foot wall.
But that wall's at the end of the course too, isn't it?
It's in the middle of the
Okay. You're already kind of gassed.
So let me correct what I just said. If it's the very first night, yes, the warped wall is the end of the course.
Okay.
If it's the city finals course,
they move.
Warped wall is the middle, and then there's a backside of the course.
Okay.
So you've got to have even extra endurance for that.
Right. So it's no longer, they actually extend the course then. They're adding new obstacles for that stage?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they build the whole thing at the same time.
Right.
The back of it is just all blacked
Closed
out.
off.
So you can't even, from TV, you'd never know anything was back there.
Right.
But it's a heck of the way you do the warped wall, everyone asks is, do you just run and just get up that thing? Yes and no. The very first step you take on a warped wall, you want to get a good start, but the very first step you take has to be as high on that wall as possibly you can get it. And then after that, it's just chop, 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 chop.
Keep
and
the feet moving.
Reach and go.
Man.
And then it's just a matter of once you grab it, then you flop yourself up there and hit that buzzer. And
that's incredible.
That's it, man.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a whole other side to it. So yes, I ran the course again in Indianapolis the very next year and I slipped. I think it was on the third obstacle. Nothing impressive. Didn't even make TV. The third year I ran in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is when my life took the worst turn it ever took. And I was just running the course mentally just not in a good place at all. And I did not have a good showing. And that was where I left it. So we can kind of get into that one of these days. But what I will say is just saying that to myself right now, I want to get my ass back on that course.
I know you do.
I can't leave it. That's like Aaron Rodgers going out.
You got to go one more year, man.
Man,
I think you could do it.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Oh man!
Like I said, you're in phenomenal fit. Phenomenal? Is that a word?
There he goes.
Phenomenal physical shape. You work out. I know you still do some CrossFit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you give yourself, I don't know when the timing is, but if you gave yourself a year to train, because you know how to train.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, you're only as old as you think you are.
That's true. That's true. It's that mental, mental thing again.
Right. Only as old as you think you are.
Okay. All right. I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If we can get people to write into the show or message us on Facebook, either a question or just a hand clap or just, yes, we want to see you get your butt back out on that course. I'll do it. If we can get 30 people.
I'll be in the front row.
You'll be in the front row?
I'll be in the front row broadcasting.
30's not a lot to ask. I think
that is not a lot. We can get 30. Guys, we can get 30 tonight.
Yeah, I think that's...
Get 30 tonight.
I made that a little too low.
30?
Yeah. Hey, but I said it.
You said it's out there.
That's a bet, right?
It's out there.
Okay. All right.
Train for a year, whatever it is. I don't know when the next one is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to be close, right? February, March. We're in January.
I'm trying to think. Usually the applications are due in December.
Okay.
31st. So this will give me a year to train.
Yeah.
And then I'll apply in December.
Right.
I'll probably put the phone calls out who makes the show in April. That's another thing. You can apply and train for a whole entire year and you may not get the call.
Yeah. If your video submission isn't entertaining to them out of the gate.
I know many of people
that never
who
even
submitted
got the call.
Videos, some that were good, some that were horrible.
Right.
But never got the call.
So it sounds like in the video application, you have to be more entertaining than athletic at that point.
I would say so.
Because you're not really running the course.
No, you're not.
You may be hanging on ropes, doing push-ups, whatever. So you have to sell them with your personality.
Yeah. And they tell you, and they do tell you in the video, they say, do some ninja stuff, but there's only so much you can do in a video. So
right.
what I'd love to do, because so many people have heard this story and always tell me, you got to put this story out there.
Yeah.
Can we just make this a part 1?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because leading up to Ninja Warrior is a whole different story in itself. And man, no one will believe it. And it has to do a little bit.
Right. I'm with you.
With that.
I'm with you. We could definitely make this part 1 because I'm in it now, man.
Let's make it part 1.
We'll make this part 1. So
All
we'll
right.
do part 2 next episode.
next episode. So tune in for part 2. You guys are going to love it.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for part 2.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.